Howdy folks, PhotoJoseph here with a not-so-little update from Rode. You all remember a bit over a year ago, Rode surprised the live streaming market with the Rodecaster Video, and at the time I said, I haven't been this excited about a new piece of hardware in the live streaming space since I made my original ATEM mini video in December 2019. The Rodecaster Video, released back in September 2024, was truly a thing of beauty. It combined some of the best features of the Blackmagic ATEM switchers and the YOLOLive YOLOBox lineup, while adding a ton of Rode's own studio hardware and software tech. At $11.99 US at launch, it was competitively priced with the larger ATEM and YOLOLive switchers, and it absolutely had its place in the market depending on what your needs were. What it didn't have, though, was a lower-cost, smaller sibling. Blackmagic ATEM has the big 8-input Mini Extreme and the smaller 4-input Mini series. YOLOLive has an Extreme model, an Ultra, a Pro, and all the way down to a single-input YOLOBox Mini. But the Rodecaster Video sat alone until today. It's November 2025, and this is the new Rodecaster Video S. S for small, or slim, or sleek, or svelte, or simple, sensible, satisfying? I'm not going to go deep into everything this device can do. I've already covered that in the main Rodecaster Video launch video that I made last year, linked here and down below. So if you haven't seen that, or even if you have, you should definitely watch it, and maybe even watch it before you watch this one, just so you fully understand and appreciate the capabilities of this hardware. This Rodecaster Video S does not have any core features stripped out of it. It's still a fully functional audio and video switcher with all the same capabilities as its big brother, just with fewer inputs and buttons, and a slightly smaller form factor, and a shockingly lower price. We'll get to that, along with a little secret that I'll be saving to the end. In this video, I'll compare every difference between the original full-size Rodecaster Video and this new, smaller Rodecaster Video S. Let's start with the ports. For analog audio input, there's no difference. Both have dual Neutrik combo audio input ports that can handle quarter-inch or XLR inputs for microphones and instruments, and are both ultra-low noise, high-gain Revolution preamps with studio-grade Aphex audio processing. Okay, I know that sounds like a lot of marketing speak, but those are literally the names of the technology. For audio output, both have dual quarter-inch headphone ports. However, the S model dropped the quarter-inch speaker ports. I, for one, have never needed speakers on a live streaming setup, and I can only imagine using these if you're running a show from a totally different room than where the event is happening, so not the kind of thing you're likely to do from a smaller switcher, primarily designed with the solo streamer in mind. For HDMI inputs, the S has one less input than the original. It has 3 HDMI in, while the full-size model has 4. These are all 1080p inputs with built-in scalers, handling up to 1080p 60. For HDMI out, the S model has only 1 versus the original model's 2 programmable HDMI outputs. The main use of an output is the multi-view, and having a second output is useful as a full-size program monitor, but for most users, 1 is enough. That brings us to the USB-C IOs. There's only 1 less on the S model, meaning we still have 2 to connect to the computer to use as a webcam or audio output, 1 for an external SSD drive, and just 1 instead of 2 to connect to a USB webcam or USB microphone. Both have an Ethernet port, and both have Wi-Fi. The original model has external Wi-Fi antennas for a more reliable Wi-Fi connection, but as I've said 1,000 times, when it comes to live streaming, you really should be using a hardwired connection, not wireless. You'll also see that the S model is lacking the micro SD card slot of the original, so instead it includes 20 gigabytes of internal storage. On the full-size model, you can have as much storage as you need, while on the S model, you're limited to the 20 gigs internal for storing graphics, video files, and other art you might need during a live show. I'll point out, though, that in the context of live streaming graphics, 20 gigabytes is a lot. It's hard to imagine needing more for this kind of switcher. Both have power buttons and locking USB-C power cables, and the original uses up to 65 watts of power, while the S model only needs 45 watts. Of course, both come with the required AC power adapter, and both can run off of PD power. What you can't see externally is that both models have dual internal wireless receivers for connecting Rode Series 4 wireless microphones. Both support up to 4 NDI inputs and 1 NDI output. Both stream up to 1080p 60, and both include program and ISO recording. 6 ISOs for the original and 4 ISOs for the S model, of course. Next, let's compare the buttons and knobs. Before we do though, this video doesn't have a sponsor, so you can be the sponsor. Make sure you're subscribed and have that bell clicked, like the video, leave a comment, share with a friend, all of that. And if you do decide to buy one of these things, please do use my affiliate link down below. Remember, affiliate links cost you nothing, but help keep the lights on around here. Also, I'm actually beta testing a new service here, so if you comment Rode down below, if all goes well, within a few minutes you'll automatically get a reply with a link to the switcher. And don't worry, I'll still be reading those comments to respond to any actual questions. All right, the buttons. The lettered buttons are multifunction preset buttons used to trigger scene layout presets, play media, or load graphics. The original has A through G, or 7 presets, while the S model has A through E, or 5 presets. The numbered buttons are programmable input switchers set by default to the HDMI and USB inputs. So on the full-size model, the 6 numbered buttons correspond to HDMI inputs 1 through 4 and the USB inputs 1 and 2, while on the smaller S model, buttons 1 through 3 are the 3 HDMI inputs and number 4 is the lone USB input. But these are programmable and can be rearranged, set to NDI inputs, or disabled. And both models have the disableable fade to black button. The rest of the layout is the same, with buttons for media, overlays, multi-source, aka picture-in-picture, and keying, or green screen. And then the inspect, auto, and cut buttons are also the same. The LCD is the same panel with the same control knob, and the volume knob controls headphone volume, and in the case of the full-size model, speaker output volume as well. Finally, we have the record button, which still starts and stops recording, either just program or program in ISOs, as is set in the software. The only difference here is that the ready to stream and ready to record lights have been removed. I'll put a side-by-side chart up at the end, but let's finish the comparison. When it comes to the software, it's the same app for either device. That's now a dedicated Rodecaster app for the Rodecaster video encoders, now separated from the original Rode Central app, which is now just for managing the Rode audio devices. The Rodecaster app software interfaces are identical whether you're controlling the original or the S model. This means you have the same awesome features, including a live video preview in the app itself. I love that. The only thing left to compare is the price. Earlier, I called it shocking, and I think you'll agree. By removing one HDMI input, one USB input, one HDMI output, one stereo speakers output, a micro SD card slot, but adding internal storage, the 2 Wi-Fi antennas, 2 custom scene buttons, 2 tiny LED lights, and 2 inches or 5 centimeters off the side, they also removed $600 from the price. Actually, $700 off of the original launch price of the Rodecaster Video. While today the original Rodecaster Video can be found for just under $1,100, this new Rodecaster Video S is just $499. That makes it $50 cheaper than the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, with arguably many more features and capabilities, and considerably cheaper than any YOLOLive YOLO box, although those of course have built-in screens or self-powered and really are just a very different product. So, are you going to upgrade to the S from the original model? Obviously not, but if you have a dedicated ATEM Mini setup, should you consider upgrading to the Rode? Possibly, especially if you need XLR or quarter-inch audio inputs, NDI video inputs, USB video inputs, or if you want the capabilities of ATEM SuperSource. That's the fully customizable scene layout instead of just picture-in-picture, which you don't get on the ATEM until you step up to the Extreme models. If any of those sound like features that you want, then yeah, for $500, this is quite the upgrade. It's definitely worth considering. So that's the new Rodecaster Video S. If you buy one, please use my link below. If you enjoyed this video, click that little thumbs up and like button and share it with a friend. Oh, and I promised a secret. I've been told that XML is coming. In fact, the Rode team is working on it now, and it's slated for the next major update for the system. All right, here's the comparison chart that'll play out to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.